Golly, golly, bum. Woo! We got a fish on. We got a fish on, folks, right off the bat, right here in the back end. Now, this is a gigantic shiner. I've got a shiner on here that daggone long. Now, so it's going to take some time for this fish to turn him. And these type of water temperatures, the surface temperature right now is at 54 degrees. That's a big fish. It's got to be a big fish. But I'm going to pick up some slack right here and see if this fish is still. Yeah, that fish is still there. But he ain't had it long enough. It takes him a long time. I mean a long time with a shiner of this size. Matter of fact, when I hooked this shiner on, I thought, hey, now I've been shiner fishing all my life. I don't know if this shiner, I believe he's too big. That's what went through my mind, but let's see if he's still there. It just takes him a long time to. I need to gain a little ground right here and get pretty close to the fish before I set the hook. Alright, we're going to go ahead, folks, and try it. Maybe he's had it long enough. There he is. I got him hooked. Golly, what a bass. It's a good one. Let me loosen this drag off. I knew it was going to be a big one, a big bass. Look here. Golly. Woo-wee. Look here, what a hog. I knew it was going to be a big fish to hit a shiner like that. I'm having some trouble with this one. This is a big one. This ain't your little old poot sniffer. Now, this is a bass right here. Golly. What? That's a hammer. Is that what they call that one? A hammer? And I barely got him after all that. See, I let him run, and barely got him hooked right here. Right in the top of the snout. Let's go ahead and, woo-wee. We're going to weigh this fish right here. Okay, folks, this is the biggest one I've caught in a while. That's a big bass right there. We're going to weigh him. I brought my scales. When I set the hook, it was just like setting it into a dead-gone stump. Whew. This fish right here is probably going to be, I'm going to guess 7.5 pounds. Oh, that's a big, big fish right there. That is a big one, folks. That ain't no little bitty one. That is a big one. And that's what I'm fishing for. I'm not fishing for little bitty fish. I'm fishing for big ones. Okay. Let's weigh this fish and see what he weighs. Okay, we're going to turn it on. This is just a little Berkeley deal right here. They're pretty accurate. Okay, it's at 0. Let's see what he is. Okay. Y'all see it before I do. Let me get it, make sure y'all see it. Alright, let's see what it is. 7 pounds, 10 ounces. 710. That's a big, big largemouth right there. I knew he was a little bit, quite a bit bigger than the one I caught yesterday, but let's get that fish back. Hey man, let's do it. That's a big one. That is a big one, folks. That's getting close to being an 8-pounder. Getting pretty close to being an 8-pound fish. There she goes. All right. Wow. All right, folks. There it is. 7 pound, 10 ounces. It takes a big bass to weigh 7 pound, 10 ounces. But in my life, since I started fishing in Florida just as a kid, I've caught a lot of fish that big and bigger on shiners. Several fish over 10 pounds. I'm just wanting to show y'all a great technique to catch really big bass. Right now I'm looking at a great place right here, a point back up in a slough back here or in the back end of a spawning area. I call it a slough. Right now the big female fish are moving up. They're moving up, feeding up as much as they possibly can for the spawn. So we're right here where they're just now starting to move up. Now the way we're going to catch them, well, one of my favorite ways to catch trophy bass, and that's live shiners. I love to fish with them. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Boy, that's a big one right there. That is a golden shiner right there. This time of the year, bass love them. I'm going to hook this one up right here, and we're going to chunk him. That is a big shiner right there. But we'll just go ahead and hook him up right here. Now what I'm using is a 3/0 Gamakatsu hook. And I'm just going to open his mouth and go through his nostril. I'm going to find that hole where his nostril is, if I can, right there. See, it don't hurt him like that. And he's got his mouth open so that water can go over his gills. He'll live a long time. Now I'm using a balloon. That's a Hobby Lobby balloon. And I've just got one knot tied in it right there. And I'm going to be fishing, let's fish about that deep. 2.5 feet deep right there. Now, let's get that shiner in the water so he won't die, folks. This is 20-pound test. Red Cajun line. Stout rod right here. It's a H2O Express. 6.5 foot 6. Medium heavy rod. With a quantum reel. 6:3-1 gear ratio. This is an old reel, but it don't have many miles at all on it. I have several bait casters that I hadn't even hardly used much here lately. But this hook right here, I have it snailed. Now a snail knot is a very strong knot. Very strong knot. And that's what we're going to do. So let's get out here on this point, chunk this shiner, and we'll just start there. If we don't catch any fish here, we'll move. We'll hunt them. Let's see if we can catch 2 or 3. Now y'all can see I'm not fishing very deep. Well, I'll show you. 3 feet of water. 4 feet of water right there. 3 and 4 feet of water. 54 degrees surface temperature. That's just right. Just right. These old big fish is in here. We got a problem here. See all that floating eelgrass? That'll give you a lot of problems fishing like this. Sometimes I'll come out with some of the beautiful shiners and let's chunk it out there low, and then we kind of pulled it back there a little bit, but there's a big old shiner out right there. The wind's gonna turn me, but that floating eelgrass right there is aggravating to try to fish. It really is. Especially like this, or with anything this time of the year. It's hard to throw a lipless crankbait in this stuff too. You can't hardly do it. But we're going to do the best we can. This is a good point right here for a big bass to stage up on. Okay, and I'm just letting him swim. We're just going to go right down through here, right along the point, out here in 3.5, 4 feet of water right there. And we'll see if we can't get bit. Using golden shiners. Woo. Now what I'm doing right here is I'm just drifting on. I caught that big fish about right in yonder. Big shiner, big bass. There ain't no doubt about that. They can handle them big shiners. And them big fish likes big baits this time of the year. Even though the water's cold, they're feeding up for a purpose, these females are. And right now, they're at their heaviest. They're at their very heaviest. Bursel. Bursel is the one that eats the beans. And Bursel is the one who has a lot of gas. Golly bum, folks. I should have had the camera on, but y'all can see that. That bass chased that shiner up to the top and busted him. It's got calm right here right now. Wind ain't blowing a bit. A little bit difficult to fish. I like a little breeze to blow me, but that fish absolutely eat it up. On top, let's let him have it just a little bit longer. I wish I'd had my camera on. Usually I leave it on. Doggone it. But it's been a while since I've gotten a bite. Okay, let's see if he's still there. He's still there. Y'all ready? This is a good one right here. This ain't nothing like we just caught, though. I can tell y'all that, but it's a good fish. My. Okay. I wish that I had that camera on. I'm going to leave it on from now on. Because that fish come up there and you talking about busting a shiner. Now, 54-degree water temps, you wouldn't think they would do that, but they will. They will. They'll knock the fire from it. Golly, that's a good fish right there. Whew. Ain't nothing wrong with that at all. That's a big, fat fish right there. Net him right here. That's a good one. Got some folks right here watching me, folks, so I'm not going to be able to act crazy or anything like that. But that's a good, I don't know, what y'all think? 5-pounder? 5-pounder. We'll weigh him. Alright, folks, that's a good bass right there. What do y'all think? About 5 pound or 4.5? I'm going to say 4.5. It's probably 5 pound. That fish right there surprised me. That's 4.5 pounds. I thought he was close to 5 pounds. That's a good bass right there. Alright, let's let him go. Okay. As heavy built as that fish was, I thought he was a 5-pounder all day long, but they'll fool you a lot of times. Alright, there she goes. Alright, folks, let's get us another one. I'm going to get me a big one. There, let's get that old big one right there. That's a big old shiner right there. A lot of people, you know, has in the comments is wanting to know, you know, do I buy these? No, I catch them. I'm not gonna buy them. I catch them myself. Sure do. And I got videos. I think I've made 2 of how I catch shiners. But there's a lot of different ways to do it. I learned this stuff when I was a wee lad. And my dad is who taught me how to do this. How to catch shiners in Florida. And it's the same way here. And I've made a couple videos on how you can catch your own bait. There's no way in the world I'm going to buy shiners. Of course, around here, you can't buy them that big. They call big shiners around here, and some of these, look, about that long. That's the big one. Why, that ain't enough. That ain't big. If you want to catch these big bass, you got to use these big golden shiners. If you want to catch a chance on catching a trophy. I'm going to have to reel this in. I believe we got eelgrass. Oh, what had happened is I threw right in a big clump of it. That's what happened. Right there. Doggone it. Let's do that again. Keep him low and then drop him in like that. If you don't do it, you'll bust him. Bust his gut. But that's how you do's it right there. And then I'm going to use the trolling motor and get away from that shiner. A little bit more than that. Okay. And that's good. That's about the proper distance away right there. But like I said, when I get bit, I'm going to get in there, I'm going to turn around and stalk that bass and get pretty close to him before I set the hook. I think the fish is anywhere between 3 to 4 feet deep. That seems to be where they're at, folks. 3 to 4 feet. Now, they could be one out here at 5 feet. I mean, I'm pretty sure they are, but the 3 that I caught has been anywhere from 3 to 4 feet. And so I'm not going to change that. As long as I'm getting bit at that depth, I'm going to keep my boat in that depth. That's exactly right. That shiner don't want me to get away from him, but I got to. You got to stay a distance. These old big bass in shallow water. There's so much fishing pressure here on the Tennessee River and Guntersville Lake that if you're going to fish like this in shallow water, you're going to have that bait a long ways away from you to get bit. There's so much eelgrass right here. I'm going to take this hook and I'm going to hook it like this right here. Just like that. That way it won't pick up so much eelgrass on the hooks. Okay. Whew. That's how you cast them. Low and hard. And just before it hits the water, kind of pull that shiner in the water. Your timing's got to be just right. Uh-oh, look here. Look. That shiner went nuts right there. I believe he's looking at another pair of tonsils. Watch that float. Y'all watch that balloon. I wanted another one to hit it on top so y'all could see it. Y'all excuse me, I'm going to have to turn around. Close the distance right here. But that was one of those strikes where that balloon, oh boy, I love this stuff, went boom, like that. I'm going to close the distance just a little bit though. With mono, I don't like to be too far away from a fish. Now with braid, it wouldn't make any difference, but fishing with these shiners, I would rather use mono because of the way they move. They move around a whole lot. Let's see if we can find him. Oh, this fish is coming this way. Y'all see that line? Let's let it tighten up and then we'll get him. There he is. That fish is moving out with it. This one here, I mean, he was moving out with that shiner. But there's a good deal right there. If you got a lot of floating vegetation, folks, y'all excuse me, hook that shiner that way. It'll hook these fish anyway. And it'll keep from that vegetation getting caught up on your hook. That's a good one right there. There ain't nothing wrong with that. Just a good, solid fish. That first one spoiled me. That was a big fish, was it not? Woo, it was a doggone big fish. Now I'm not gonna flip this one, but I'm gonna get down here like that right there, and I'm gonna lip him. Golly, what a butterball. Another good one. That one's been caught before, look at there. Another good one. Alright folks, there's another one. Y'all can guess the weight on that fish. Nice one though. Yeah, y'all can guess him in there. It's a good fish, so that one hit it much different. He didn't pin him up against the surface of water, then pop him, doggone it. I wanted y'all to see that. He just boom. That's how that balloon went. It just went bloop. And that was Katie bar the door on that. Now that fish was moving out real quick, so I sort of thought it was a smaller fish. I really did. A big fish won't move that quick. They just won't. But let's let him go. All right, folks. Let's let him go. There he goes. Tell you what, there's a lot to be said about the sport of fishing, but it would take me a long time to say it. Right now, all I want to do is catch another. And there's y'all. I don't know. Alright folks, we're going to end it right here. It's raining. The temperature has dropped. I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. Those fish hit pretty quick. Boom, boom, boom. And one sure enough good one. So, but shiners is the way to go if you're after trophy fish. There's no matter what part of the country you're in. This time of the year, they will eat a big golden shiner, no doubt. I want to say God bless each and every one of y'all. Thank y'all for everything y'all have done. I mean, y'all are still building this channel. I mean, this channel hasn't slowed down a bit. It's still building, and it's all because of y'all. Thank y'all very much. Thank y'all. I appreciate it more than you think. Hey, woo. Hey man, woo! And remember, woo! Go fishing when you can, because it's good food!